Okay, so my official role is multimedia journalist. At the station, I run both of our websites, raleighcw.com and myrdctv.com. I find stories, I interact with the community anytime we have an event, a fair, anything like that, I'm there. I am considered talent. I'm on video, I do interviews, and as such I have a talent contract, which is pretty fun. So I also write articles and I manage all of our social media pages. We have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Okay, and I'll go through what we do for each of those and also who the audience is for each of those because it's wildly different. We have different ages in here, and I would assume, who uses Facebook? You use Facebook? Would you say Facebook is your main social media? What is your main social media?
Instagram.
Instagram? How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
22.
Okay. Twitter?
No, it'd be Twitter.
Twitter? Okay. Is anybody on TikTok all the time? No?
I use it, but not all the time.
We're trying to get it. It's a really niche product, right? And we're not even a news station. We're a local affiliate TV station, so there's not a lot that we can do on it, but we're working on it. And so yeah, we attend events, we promote the station. The next event I'm going to, we sponsored a small business expo, so I'll be there schmoozing next Thursday, doing social media stuff, talking to people, and actually, I might talk about them in just a minute, but okay. RaleighCW.com is our website. Please feel free to peruse the website if you want to. I won't feel bad if you're looking at your phone. We do something called 22 Now, which is our news brand, and it's all me, literally me. I'm the only person who posts to RaleighCW.com. My boss told me when she interviewed me that I would have, quote, full creative autonomy, and I have taken it and I have run with it. I love my job. So I went to GalaxyCon. That's Tyler Hoechlin. He is Superman on Superman and Lois, which is one of our biggest shows. I also, this story right here, the McDonald's story, I worked with sales on that. The owner of that McDonald's buys ads with us, and they do something called added value, where they've spent a ton of money, so we're going to do a little extra for you. And what I did is I did a story on the artist that he hires to paint on the side of his McDonald's. And then we get community kind of stories where the identical twins, they were 100, and then this one was, this is Owen, he works for the city of Raleigh, and he's trying to save our greenways, literally, from invasive species. So this is the kind of thing that I write about on our websites. I tell you this because all of this is also cross-posted on our social media. So we use social media quite a bit to grow our audience, grow our brand, let people know that we're out there. Did you all know that the CW and RDC do not have news? We do not have live news. We buy our news from ABC 11. So they broadcast from their studio at 10 o'clock. We don't do that. Our news studio is barren. We do use it a little bit now that COVID is around to keep our master control separated from each other, but otherwise we don't use it. And so I have, I don't want to say easier job, just a less stressful job, because it's something like WRAL or ABC 11. If you're a multimedia journalist there, you're dealing with all of their stories. You're dealing with all of their weather. You're dealing with all of their traffic, and it's your job to get all of that out onto social media. I get to kind of have a little bit more fun with it. This is my RDC TV. We do high school sports every year, and we do football and basketball. We also do something called Creature Feature, where we pair with the local animal rescues. That's actually on both websites, but since RDC has less traffic, I try to promote it more onto RDC, so we get more traffic there. But remember I said I go to high school sports and events and things like that? These are huge for social media. I live tweet every single live game that we go to. I interview the students, I post reels about cool behind the scenes things that we're doing there, and the numbers between when we have sports and when we don't have sports is pretty staggering, like in the thousands of views and engagements and things like that. We had the high school championships in March, and in April it went down. I think it was like 85%. Our engagement went down because, you know, local people want something to engage with, right? And when it's the high school, it's really important. Some high schools are better than others, and I'll go through that as far as engagement and school spirit and wanting to see their things and sharing everything goes. But really, what it boils down to is finding something that people want to engage in with your social media posts. So I'll get into that as well. Okay, so this is more for my colleagues, but for you, when this is actually for social media and any website that you're dealing with, because you'll probably, if you get a social media job at a news station, you'll also be dealing with the website. So you were talking about metrics, and there are certain metrics like bounce rate. Have you guys heard of what bounce rate is? Okay, when you have a website and you go to the home page, if somebody leaves the home page without clicking past the home page, they've bounced, okay? The lower the bounce rate, the better. And when I first got to the CW, we had a bounce rate of about 93%. Not great. People were coming to our home page and they were just leaving. They weren't clicking on anything. We want people to click past the home page. And so you need something engaging to get them to click. So I brought it down. We're working on it. I'm in the 80s now. So as far as I'm concerned, I've only been here a year. I'm excited about that. So we're working on reading articles, watching the full videos, sharing everything, getting people to click on it and click past that home page. Because every view, every interaction, every engagement counts in your metrics. You want all of it. And you want the 3-second views, you want people to click through, you want people to stay on your site as long as possible. So when you're doing social media and you're getting people there, there has to be something engaging that gets those people to click, gets them to like, gets them to comment, asking questions. Anything you can do to get your audience to engage is really important. If you feel like perusing, these are all of our handles. The CW22 is the same everywhere. The only one for RDC that's different is Twitter. We do have a MyRDC TV, but the 2 social media people before us left and didn't leave us the password. So we had to change it to MyRDC so that we had a presence on Twitter. So it's MyRDC TV except for Twitter, MyRDC. So I post on all of the platforms every day, even if it's boosting a story that's on our website. The CW22 and MyRDC are owned by Sinclair, and they have a news site called the National Desk, which we are allowed to syndicate from. So on my website, I push news stories up there. Every time I push a news story up, I share it to social media. I want people to know that it's there, because we're not a news site. We're not a site that people automatically go to find weather and might click on a news story while you're there. We're something that I need to tell people that we're there, because we're not small potatoes, but like we're not expected to have millions of followers like WRAL is. So I have to work a little harder to get people to go to our website. Okay, these are the different platforms that I deal with. Let me know if you agree with my assessment of all of these. But Facebook is my age, older audiences. I'm almost 40, and it's the one that I knew first. It's the one I'm most comfortable with, and most of my friends as well. When we do sports, the families, the parents want to share on Facebook. And I'll show you when we get to the other ones who in the sports world shares on what. So tags don't work as efficiently for me on Facebook as it does on, say, Twitter or Instagram. I can't tag individual people on there. It doesn't let me do that. And it's a good place for news. I share viral videos, things like that. And then I'll get quite a few views on there. Also, any story I write, I'll share on there.
Now, I do disagree that 40s is old.
Older, Fred, older. Don't worry, older.
Get off my lawn.
Okay, Twitter. The CW has a lot of superhero shows, and My Twitter is where I connect with the fandoms. I connect with Supernatural fans. Batwoman, unfortunately Batwoman just got canceled, but I connected with the Batwoman fans, the Superman and Lois fans. That's where I go to find fandoms and connect with that audience there. For the high school sports on RDC, this is where I connect with the schools themselves, because schools seem to be all about Twitter. And every single school that we cover on sports has it. So when I'm breaking these down, what I really want to say is it's really important to know who you are targeting with whatever it is that you're sharing. If you're targeting high school students, probably best not to go to Facebook. I have found when I go to games that Instagram is huge with high school students. So I post reels, I post pictures, I posted an interview with like their star basketball player that I interviewed on the sidelines and things like that. Reels have been wildly popular for us. I've gotten thousands of views within a few minutes because I tag the school and they follow the school, so I've been getting some good stuff there. And for the CW, I promote the website on there a lot. I'll take my individual picture that I posted on my story and I'll put it there and say, hey, go to the Raleigh CW website. I still think it's dumb that you can't post an actual link. I have to tell them to go to the Raleigh CW website. But on my analytics, if I see that people came from Instagram, I know I'm doing something right. So, and then TikTok it's new. I haven't found our niche yet, you know, because I can't do the dances and I can't do a lot of the challenges and it just doesn't fit with a station promotion. There is something that I did a while ago, I think it was last week. We had an added value promotion for Papa John's. They spend a lot of money with us, so we did a pizza party and we posted it on our social media, and on most of it, I literally say, yay, thanks Papa John's for buying us pizza, and it's the added value and it's a sponsored thing and I'm allowed to do that. I haven't figured that out with TikTok yet, but what I did was I went around to all of my colleagues and I asked them what their like controversial pizza opinion was, and it's doing really well on our TikTok for us. It's not millions of views or anything like that, but for us it's pretty good. And you know, people said things like pineapple on pizza, and I said I like cold pizza better, and things like that. And it actually got a lot of comments, I got a lot of engagements everywhere I did it, and so you have to find ideas that get people to want to enter the conversation. A lot of people told me that they like pineapple on pizza. I don't know what's wrong with them. So. Okay, so like I said, there's a lot of discrepancies across the 4 platforms. And there's a few ways that I can combat those discrepancies. I post literally everywhere. If I'm posting one place, I'm posting in all 4 places. TikTok, sometimes I don't. If I can't figure out a way to organically do it, I don't want to shoehorn it in there. But if I can't figure out a way to organically do it, I won't do it. I try to hashtag and tag as many people as possible. The CW is an affiliate here in Raleigh. So the CW network has a big corporate everything, okay? And so a lot of people, when they want to find out what's going on with the CW, they go to the CW. And so what I've started doing is just tagging the actors and tagging the writing rooms and tagging the shows themselves. And I've actually gotten quite a few people talking to me. Batwoman talked to me. Olivia Leong from Kung Fu talked to me. The writers' rooms, they talk back because they see that CW and they say, you're legit, I will interact with you. And not a lot of CW affiliates do it. I don't see them all over their writing rooms. And so that's a way that I'm getting a lot of engagement. I found out early in my career that Jared Padalecki from Supernatural, his fans are fans, okay? So, who's the fan? Who's the fan here? You are? Yes. I'm sorry about his accident, that sucked.
I know,
right?
man, the way, you can't have breaking news.
I know.
No, that was bad.
It was tough, but I did post about it. I did get a lot of interaction about it. But a while back, there was some tension between Jared and Jensen, and I posted about it, and I got thousands of interactions on that one post. And so I figured out that there are some fandoms that you want to talk to, and it helps me. So I try to use what I know about every platform to my advantage and go from there. Okay, so on my Facebook, CW, I don't remember what month it was. I think it was March. These were my top posts for the month. This was a fundraiser where a lady, she needed a double lung and heart transplant. and it had to come from the same person. She got it, which was great, and it was a kind of story that was like twofold, because it was a company who was doing a fundraiser for her. So the audience was double what it normally would have been. People who want to see themselves in the news. It was the fundraising people, it was the people who were supporting her. And so when I posted it, it went pretty good. This is, I think, a couple of days after I posted it, when I had almost 500 engagements. Remember, I'm a small channel, so this is actually really good as far as like our numbers go. If you're WREL and you get 500, you're fired. But if you're me and you get 500, it's pretty good and they're excited for you. And this is also a promotion that I'm doing for a small business spotlight that I'm actually doing all month this month. If you look, I posted my first one, and that's also got about 2,000 people reached as well, so I'm super excited about that. But these are just things that I post, and I tag as many people as I can. I want people to see that I'm talking about them. And if they don't know that you're talking about them, there isn't some Facebook algorithm that's gonna like, surprise, they're talking about you. You have to tell them that you're talking about them. So don't be afraid of tags. Don't be afraid of hashtags. Don't be afraid to get your stuff out where it's supposed to be, okay?
What's your opinion on boosting posts?
I love it, but my company won't give me money for it. Yeah, it's, okay, so we're twofold, because we have corporate and we have us. We have a promotions budget. They don't feel that the $20 a month I'm asking for is worth it. I disagree, and I think that we could raise it quite a bit. On months when corporate comes down and they boost a post for us, our engagements go from about 10,000 to 400,000. And that's for like a 3-day post, y'all. It's huge. Boosting stuff is huge. And it's my opinion that if you boost a few things consistently, you'll grow your audience, and your audience becomes more organic. Whereas I have to like bring people. I have to bring people in instead of Facebook doing it for me. So yes, boost those posts. And almost all the time they are running promotions where if you spend $20, you get $20 credit, which, I mean, that's a couple more days of boosting it. If in a perfect world, if they gave me any money I wanted, I would have corporate boost our shows when our shows come out. They'll probably boost, we have a new show premiering, it's called Tom Swift at the end of the month. They'll probably boost that, and I'll probably get great engagement in May because of it. But I also want to boost things like local events. The Small Business Expo that we're doing next week, I want to boost my story on that, but we don't have it in the budget. If it's gone from the promotions budget, there is no money for it. So, yes, I love it. I love boosting. So, yeah, the local business has 11 comments. The things that I posted on there had people engaging. And there's a small business coalition in Garner that I'm connected with, where if I tag one of them, they all follow that as well, and so they'll all get involved as well. I have found communities, and I use them to my advantage. Does anybody know who Fuquay Verena Memes is? She is a person who is, she's anonymous. I don't even know her name. I asked not to know her name because she's that anonymous. I talked to her on the phone, and I did an article with her. She has an enormous Facebook following in Wake County, huge. And she shared my article that I wrote about her on her page. Do you remember how I said 2,000 people reached is really good? Yeah, I got 20,000 that time. So, and it still gets comments, it still gets likes, it still gets shares, because it's on her page. So if somebody finds her page and they scroll down and they find the article, they'll click on my article. It was by far my top article that month. So if you find people that have a big following, remember how I was saying Jared Padalecki, etc., you can do that locally too. When the fair is around in October, I tag the fair, and their social media people are amazing. They share my stuff too, and so that gets it that much further. So I would say find people who engage with their audience, find people who are exciting, and things like that if you're looking for a story or something to promote. She's so awesome. She's so funny. Okay, so I compared these two because every night ABC 11 sends me a teaser for the 10 o'clock news. okay? Every night I put it up there, and every night I tag somebody, okay? Oh, it does not look like my tag for Don Schwenneker, the ABC News weatherman, took that night. Interesting. That's still a good comparison. No tags for the weather. Some people wanted to see it, but if you want the weather, where do you go?
Oh, just Google. I mean,
Right. I look at my app. Would you go to the CW's website for the weather? Probably not. But do you guys know who Ariana DeBose is? She won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress for West Side Story. She's also from Raleigh, and she danced in Raleigh, okay? So the night before the Oscars, we had a story on ABC 11 that night, on the news on CW 22 that night, and I tagged her dance troupe in it. They shared it, they commented on it, and what normally gets maybe 30 to 50 engagements a night people reached, got 690 people reached that night. So it was a big deal. So with tags, without tags, it makes a big difference. Who you engage with, if you don't engage at all, it makes a big difference. Yeah?
Timing also is.
So maybe sometimes, for me, it hasn't really. I've switched around when I put our promos in, I've switched around when I add stuff in, and it really, like, if you tag somebody, they will come, that kind of thing. I tell them that their story is there, and whether it's in an hour or 4 hours when they share it, people will still engage. I know I check Facebook a few times a day, when I wake up, when I'm at lunch, after dinner, that kind of thing. So the timing doesn't really bother me that much. If it's something important, I'll make sure that I tag people, and then I'll email them or text them, say, hey, it's there, you know, go and look at it. And that gets them there quicker, so. Okay, so even with tags, I will say, engagement is not a guarantee. When we do our high school sports, some of the schools engage better than others. So, who was this? This was Millbrook. They won their playoff game, and they were super excited. But, like, nobody came. 84 people reached for this, okay? This one, they won, they were super excited, and 2,400 people came. I did the same thing. I tagged people, I let them know it was going to be on Facebook. Everything happened a little bit different. So it really, with social media, you put it out there and you tag people, but you can't force people to see your stuff, right? You can't force people to engage. All you can do is make it as great as you want to make it, invite them to come, and want them to. And if they will, they will. I will show you Millbrook, though, on Facebook. Wasn't really great. And then we went to Instagram. Okay, this is the same post on Instagram, and I got 2,800 impressions instead, which tells me Millbrook likes Instagram better than is this Instagram or Twitter?
I think that's Twitter.
Twitter, I apologize. They're on Twitter more than they're on Facebook. And so I think this is the same one that was really great on Facebook, not so great on Twitter. Remember how I said I post everywhere? That's why I post everywhere. I never know which school is going to interact better on which platform. Which parents love Twitter, which parents love Facebook, and so I just give it all to them. It takes me 5 minutes to post everything on everything, and it's worth it. Because if they didn't see this on here, it would have been a pretty bad week as far as engagement goes, okay? So. This is Twitter. This is February and March. This is Judicia Leslie. She was Batwoman. She was fabulous. I loved her. Pretty good engagement that month when I did the story on her. We got 15,000 impressions. But then for Valentine's Day, I did something and I asked for people's opinions. And I said, what is the best CW couple you know? And I gave them some examples. But if you notice, there are 42 retweets, and I don't remember how many comments I got on that, but it was pretty huge. And in February it was 43,000 because I had that one like semi-viral moment, and it went down to 15,000 because not as many people engaged the next month. So it can be hot and cold depending on what you have, and making a plan I make a plan for each month to try to get one big engagement kind of situation. I haven't done it for May yet because I've been busy, but we'll see what I can do when Tom Swift premieres. That's what I want to do. Tom Swift is a spin-off as well, so I'll probably try to engage with the original as well. This is Instagram. I use Reels most of the time when I'm doing things like sports. I can take video of little moments and put it on the Reels and tag the schools, and they're really excited because they're at the games, they're watching the games on TV, and they can see little behind-the-scenes moments. So I really try to pounce on that. I never miss a live game unless I'm like falling down ill, because it's really great for engagement. I get 4,000 views of the principals dancing. That's that's a big deal, and especially with a small station like mine, getting something like that is, for my analytics for every week or every month, is good. I will say though that since I started, I have grown each and every platform every month. Even if it's by 2 people, I consider it growth, and I want everybody to be out there, and I engage really hard to make us a place that is more community-based instead of news-based. You can go anywhere and hear about how many accidents or murders there were, but can you go somewhere and find out about the 100-year-old twins that turned 100 on New Year's Eve? So that's what I want us to be.
Do you think I can make us viral if I start dancing online?
Yes.
Yes, you can.
Yes.
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 Hashtag dancing fails.
Speaking of, here's my TikTok. My boss keeps asking me to dance, and I keep saying, no, I'm not doing that. These are the first, few rows of what I started doing. This is the Chinese Lantern Festival. I think that's my best one so far. Just little things that I put on there. I see what gets traction. I'm kind of experimenting with our TikTok at this point, and I'm lucky enough that I have bosses that say, yeah, do it. I don't care. What's the worst you're gonna do? Fail? So, even if I get 0 views, my bosses are like, cool, let's, rework it and try again. So I've got some really great people around me who really want to help me grow this. And I feel like that's important when you're doing something that's as hit and miss as social media. If you end up with a boss that says, well, nobody cared about this post and you're fired, they don't understand social media, because you all know it can be hot and cold. You all know that something weird can go insanely viral, and something really important can have 10 people see it. And they understand that, and I've let them know that. And I think that it makes for a better collaboration. Yeah. Can you get TikTok on this
You should be able to.
Okay, I'll see. Okay, so, obviously this was for sales and everybody, but to grow your platform, follow all of the channels. Ask the people that you know to frequent them. Ask the people that you know to share them. I have found that comments and shares are the biggest ways to get engagement. When I share something, hundreds of people can see it. My friends are really nice. They like my stuff and they'll share it too. But if you can get the people who you're posting about to share it, that's a big deal. My Marcy's mom wants her, church friends to see that Marcy's on TV, and so she's going to share it, and that will spread it even more. 8 shares gets thousands of people. Okay, so if you can start the ball rolling, it'll grow. So yeah, liking, sharing, comments. During big events, make sure that you engage with people, make sure you interact with people. Don't be afraid to walk up to somebody and talk to them. The worst they're going to say is no, which sometimes isn't fun to hear, but the worst they're going to say is no, and you move on. And that's that. Because every view, every interaction, every share you get, every engagement you get counts. Okay, so that's the end of that. I thought I would show you the Facebook pages. I don't suppose anybody's logged into Facebook, are you?
On one of your slides, you said something about bring me stories. Is there initiatives for people to bring you stories?
No, but there is on our website. If you have an idea for a story, please email here, or you can message the station. And sales, I want them to bring me stories because it makes them look good with their clients. It makes me look good because I'm interacting with the community.
Do a lot of people bring you stories?
My salespeople are great. Yeah, they love it. One of my salespeople, what is the name of that city. If you go straight down 40 before you get to the beach, it's
Wilmington,
before you get to the beach, like halfway to the beach.
Warsaw.
Window?
Oh, yeah,
Maybe?
yeah.
Something like that. Anyway, it's a small town. She has quite a few clients there, and her clients, it's a Ford dealership. They do a lot of like social interaction, and I can do a story on the thing that they're sponsoring, say that it's at Performance Ford, which is not technically a sponsorship, and they get their name out there, and I get a great story. That's where the heart transplant one came from. The heart and lung transplant, the fundraiser was being held in the Performance Ford parking lot. And I can say that because that's where it was. I'm not saying, brought to you by Performance Ford. You have to be really careful with sponsored stuff. So, but yeah, it was really great, and that got so much engagement. And then when she got her transplant, I was able to update it and put it back out there, and everybody who was super excited about it looked at it again. And that made it huge. So I say keep up with your posts, keep up with the people you post about, the things you post about, things like that. I don't know if I can get onto Facebook, but I'll try. I wanted to show you guys what my Facebook looks like. Are you guys admins of a Facebook page? Are you in there? Let's see.
That's the worst.
I know. And then they don't send a code, so I have to say, text me a login code, please. There it is.
Remember when we said doing social media takes time?
Yeah. We've noticed a login from a browser to easily name.
Oh, I hate that.
Oh. Identify my recent comments? Are you kidding me? Come on, Facebook. So Facebook is meta now, and they've identified my profile as one that could potentially get lots of views. Why? Because I share publicly from the websites. So they've seen me as being connected to TV stations, and they've decided that I have the, like people are gonna wanna hack me because I'm gonna get famous or something like that. I don't know. So,
I think his Instagram actually just got hacked.
whose Instagram?
My fiance, they like took her Instagram and they were sending a bunch of messages,
Oof,
trying to
yikes.
get money and stuff.
That's never good.
I'm starting to think mine is people are like trying to, like people I went to school with. I mean, I figured out. I mean, it's not real, obviously, because who would give me like, and try to enter me in anything? I was like, yeah, this is not. But it sounded great, you know, at the time.
Oh, they changed her email and her password.
Like I could use. You
What
think I
just
forget my
happened?
password all the time. I change that pretty frequently.
What just happened? If I have to do all that again, I try it.
You got nothing to show, honestly. Oh, there we go, Facebook.
It didn't log me in. Why didn't it log me in? Oh my god. Okay, just go on your phones, people. We're not doing that. Okay, so if you go to the CW22's Facebook, I've noticed that not a lot of people go directly to our Facebook page. They find our stuff in their feed. So not a lot of people know that I like change our cover photo for the newest and coolest show or whatever, but I don't mind. So if you look at my Facebook page, you'll see the last story that I posted if it wants to. I posted about a guy named Vegas Dawn, who is a person that we're sponsoring. His organization is something the CW has sponsored for quite a few years. He is an anti-drug, anti-violence, anti-gang non-profit organization. And so we're sponsoring him. He's not giving us any money to do anything. So I can, you know, proudly say, hey, we give this guy money, we love him, we're doing this story about him. and I posted it on here. And he doesn't seem to be the savviest social media person, but if you compare him to the story that I did before, which is about sweet tea picnics, she, basically all of her business comes from social media. So she found it, she shared it, she looked at everything. Yeah, see, like, I tagged Campaign for Change, and it has reached 27 people. I don't know if he took the link and he shared it himself instead of sharing something else, because he got the link last night. That's something that I'll investigate. Which I don't usually mind if they do that, because that still gives me views on my website, but I would prefer they shared my Facebook as well, because they're promoting my Facebook and they're promoting my website. But what else? They can just share it if they want to. And then if you scroll down a little bit more, you'll find, I posted it on Monday, so you'll find, okay, yeah. 2 days ago, I had the absolute pleasure to have a picnic with Marcy from Sweet Tea Picnics. Right now, I've got 7 shares and 1,400 people reached, which is awesome. And I think it's more than 100 views on my website at this point, and it's only been a few days. So what I'm gonna do is, next week when I post my next business, I'm gonna tag back to what I did this week, and I'm gonna say, here's what we're doing this week, here's what we did last week, and then at the end I'm gonna do a big old recap and just keep bringing people back and do a cycle of, hey, this is the awesome stuff we did this month, okay? When you do social media, what are you having them promote?
Mostly they're sending me stuff to promote on the station Facebook page, Twitter as well. So they're promoting their podcasts.
Are you guys in radio, TV? Who's in radio? And everyone else is in TV? Are you in TV?
I think it's just us two.
Do you let them put their like projects and stuff on the social media pages? Does that happen?
The podcast we have been, no one's said can we put a video on yet, but 4CNC has their site for that.
Yeah. Something I would suggest, maybe you do an experiment with, if you have a cool news story or some sort of video that you guys are doing and you put it on there and then they share it, like if your fiance shares it, if your girlfriend shares it, if whoever shares it, that many more people are going to see that video and that many more people are going to come back to it. And if you guys say on your individual stuff, hey, I'm in school for this and we have our own social media, like look at it, look at what we're doing. I find that friends and family and things like that, when they realize like, you're on the radio? You're on TV? That's amazing. And they'll like share it, they love it. A friend of mine who I knew for like 6 months in the military before they got sent away, not sent away, before they PCS'd out, we kind of like converged, shares my stuff all the time. And he loves it. He's super excited that I ended up doing something like this. And you'll find those people who will help you promote things. I found that on the CW in the Choose Local and Small Business Coalition. Dina, man, she shares everything I put. All I have to do is tag her and she's all about it. She posts it, she comments on it. She comments on it from different usernames. She has her own username as Dina. She has her username as her business. She has her username as Choose Local. And every time she's on it, if it comes up in her feed, which she's followed us, she likes it and she comments on it. And you get those people who are really supportive of what you're doing. Hold on to them because they're going to help you grow your audience. Those people are amazing. Hold on to them, be good to them. We are sponsoring her business expo because she has been so good to us. So you get these relationships going, you build these relationships. Remember Owen I was telling you about, who's trying to save our greenways? He just sent me a story idea that I'm going to do next week. You find these people, you find your sources, and you can expand from there. Yeah.
So I guess in terms of loyalty, like how far, or like I guess what, if you could estimate, like what percentage of your loyal following, like do you have as opposed to like new or just casual? Is that, or is that a hard
that's
thing?
No, that's an analytic that I get on my website. Usually on our website, it's like 90% new people every month. It's a metric that I don't like. It's a metric I want to change, which is why I was telling the people that I work with, make scrolling through our website part of your day, because that's a non-new user. That's a user that has come back for more this month, and that's a big deal. I bet, I would love to look at WRAL's analytics. I bet they have so many people who go there every single day for their news. I think WRAL's Facebook has like 1 million followers in Raleigh, which is not a huge city. They have 1 million followers. They are by far the #1 news in the Raleigh area. And I think that people get up and they go to their website and they find their news on WRAL every day. They have cultivated that for decades, and they're good. Like, they're really good. They're actually hiring a multimedia journalist right now if any of you are going to graduate. So don't tell anybody that I sent someone to the competition-ish. I wouldn't say they're really competition. We are categorized as an entertainment site. We're a small affiliate, and people don't look at us and say, you need hundreds of thousands of views this month. They look at us and say, do your part to promote it. You know, we're kind of a niche in that we're a small conglomerate of the CW, and we're a small conglomerate of Sinclair. And so when people want Sinclair, they go to Sinclair. And when people want the CW, they go to CW. And so I have a pretty small pool of people as far as like specifically my channel to go from, which is why I focus so much on the community, because they can come to me if they want to, you know, if they have a fundraiser that they're doing, or there was a kid who started his own nonprofit to give electronics to kids. Like, in our own city, he was giving electronics to kids. And I was a way to boost that, because I don't have to shove aside that day's news to do a story on him. I can just do a story on him. So that's really, that's where I want us to be as far as in the community. So that's what I'm doing.
Was there somebody doing what you're doing before you?
Yes. She, we have different styles, and I feel like it's because we had different backgrounds. I have a background in TV and radio, and she has a background in social media. She didn't go to school for broadcasting. She went to school for communications. And so her style was very much influencer style, you know? She went out on the town and showed you cool things, and she did little videos and stuff like that. And my internship was at UNC TV, and so I've kind of had the like long form interviews, telling cool stories about people. So it's pretty different, but you know what? We're getting similar numbers. So, you know, we each have found a market. And I feel like if I was brave enough to move into like the things that she did, I still can't get past that, like, should I put myself out there as the face of my channel, or should I let my channel speak for itself? And that's really kind of a crossroads where I'm gonna have to be, because my boss wants me to be the face. They wanna talk about Trisha, and I wanna talk about my channel and the cool people. And so it's one of those things that we're working on. Yeah, so before that, there was a pair of people who were like the CW crew, and they did things like little news updates on the channel and not a ton of social media. And since social media has risen in the last 10, 15 years, they want to make what I do a bigger priority than like little things on the channel. Mm-hmm.
I feel like with the, you being the face of it, TikTok might be your, well, I mean, like, sorry.
No, you're right. I am
better.
technically the face.
Well, I mean, with you being on the camera, like them seeing you interact with, people and these events and activities, TikTok might be the better one. Like they want, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, people go to TikTok, I think, for, to see things.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's better when there is like a face to it.
Okay, let me show you the TikTok that I made and see if I can get onto TikTok and see if you agree.
I mean, I don't personally post to TikTok. I just every once in a while watch.
Can you find something?
Oh.
What the heck and heck?
Okay.
I don't know who you are, lady.
It was Alex and what you saw the other day.
Surprise.
So I'm putting this on video. I'm going to put a parental discretion advised disclaimer on.
All right. Cool. You can get to my TikTok without actually logging in. And let me see if...
Until you watch like 2 videos, it'll make you love it.
All right. I think I did everything I need to do.
No comments.
Exactly.
Okay. Remember when I said I was doing the added value for Papa John's? We had a pizza party that day. So on social media that day, I literally posted like pictures of the Papa John's food, pictures of the Papa John's box, Like, this was a promotion for them, and we've been doing that for years, so people kind of come to expect it. But I wanted to do something a little bit different, and we're all kind of hybrid at this moment, and so everyone was coming into the office that day, and I really wanted to do something different and get them engaged as well. So I went around and I asked them what their, controversial pizza opinion was, and I made this one, which, let me see if, sound right.
Might have to put it on the speakers here.
I think I did.
What's wrong with you?
Okay, let's try.
What am I doing, Chance? What am
And
I
I was
doing?
curious
Okay.
what, I'm a pizza party today, and I was curious what all of my coworkers' most controversial opinions on pizza is, so I'm gonna go ask them. Mine is that I think cold pizza is better than fresh pizza. Don't hate me.
My family and I fight over this, putting pineapple on our pizza. Now, my immediate family will have pineapple, but when I go to my sisters, they don't like the pineapple, they take it off.
Because it's gross.
Josh, what's your controversial pizza opinion?
It's gotta be, I gotta think about it. I don't know my controversial one.
What is your controversial pizza opinion?
The more veggies, the better. My family does not like vegetables on their pizza, like green peppers and things, so they're always picking it off, which means I'm picking off their plate to grab everything and just load up my pizza slice. And then I fold it like a little sandwich, and then eat the pizza.
Wait,
as a
okay,
sandwich.
wait. You do like a taco pizza
A
slice?
taco pizza,
Oh my-
so I put everything on there and then
Okay,
fold it up.
fire. He's trying to talk about veggies, but he
Okay,
folds
so
his pizza.
mine
Come on.
Is I like the square pizza. I like cutting it into squares, very thin, Sicilian style square pizza.
No. What is your most controversial pizza opinion?
Pineapple does belong on pizza.
You too?
People.
I mean, she's not wrong.
Having a pizza party today, and I,
Okay, so that's
Jose,
one of the first
We need to
times.
talk.
That's one of the first times I've been able to get everybody who's in the office to participate. And I basically have been telling them, like, look, if you're going to have me in the office, you're going to participate. And if you want the audience to grow, you need to participate. You work at a TV station, come on, people. So, and that day was actually really fun because we were there, we were having fun. I wanted to put the thing with Josh in there because he really couldn't figure out what he wanted to do for the station. And I was like, that's fine, little outtake in there. And it added interest, it added a little bit of humor to it. And when I was like, making fun of the people for their controversial opinion, like, people did that to me too. They were like, you like cold pizza the next day? That's disgusting. I'm like, that's me. So it was actually a lot of fun to do. Also, did you know that when you post to TikTok, it saves to your camera roll? Yes. I take that and then I post it on Reels on Instagram, and I post it on my Twitter, and then I post it on my Reels on Facebook, and I post it everywhere. So what's cool is even if like this only has I think 300 views, people have also seen it and commented on it on Facebook. People have seen it and commented on it on Instagram, and so I'm sharing the love there. I'm making it, yeah.
So like when you post everything everywhere, do you find that you're like reformatting stuff for each platform, or are you just kind of like?
Excellent question. Okay, so no. When I post, say, a video that I did that is specifically for the website, that is in landscape. And I think you can see it on my homepage here. Okay, point out which ones were made for TikTok and which ones were made for the website. This is my creature feature made specifically for the website and for the channel, so this has to be in landscape. It can't be in portrait mode. But if I'm making it my cat, if I'm making it specifically for TikTok, I always make sure that it is portrait, because portrait across the social medias will fit a lot better than landscape. So if you want to cross promote and you are doing it specifically for social media, do portrait mode. But like, I haven't found that people refuse to look at it if it's in landscape. Like, I don't think I have it pinned anymore, but the one for the Chinese Lantern Festival, it was specifically for the website, and I posted it, and that has the most views. It's pretty and shiny, and has a behind the scenes of a really cool event, so a lot of people wanted to see it.
That was a cool festival.
It was, right? They let me come the day before and interview the the representative from China, and then they let me interview the, what is his title? He works for the city of Cary. He's the one who puts the events on. They let me interview him, and so I went during the day, and I was able to do this like really cool transition where I shot it during the day, and then I dissolved into what it looks like at night. And if you do end up watching that video, really cool fun fact, the majority of that B-roll is done on my phone. Because I didn't feel like going to the press night with a bunch of cameras, and I was just looking at them like, rookies, what's wrong with you? Here's my little phone deal. If you have a phone that's a good enough video, I'm actually going to upgrade because I want even better video. You can take your B-roll, you can do your set, like if you're doing an interview and you have your main camera, but you want a second angle, I use my phone for my second angle. It's perfectly good video. It also is my backup audio because it's automatic. You know, with big DSLR cameras, you have to set up the microphone, you have to turn on the microphone. There's a lot of things that have to happen, and I have done interviews without turning my microphone on. And so that served as my backup. So don't be afraid to use your phone. Don't be afraid to use your phone for like broadcast purposes. If it's good enough, I mean, like if you're rolling around with an iPhone 6 or something like that, I would not recommend it. But any of the newer ones, especially now that we're getting into the pro versions of things, like, use it, love it, deal. You know, like you can buy accessories for it. You can make amazing video with your phone. So don't feel like you're hampered being on social media or not wanting to bring all of your equipment or something like that. You can make amazing video. I also occasionally use my GoPro. I use my GoPro there too. Because I could do like really cool sweeping shots of like the dragon and things like that. Really mix it up. See what you're good at, what you like looking at, and you can make some really dynamic stuff. And you don't need the tripod or the giant thing and the SD card. You don't need all that. You can make some really cool stuff. I'm trying to see. Yeah, like this. That was all my phone. The taco thing was all my phone. This was a behind the scenes thing for a show that we do, so I showed up literally just to do behind the scenes and promote it. They're going to send me some pictures of an astronaut that is going to be on the show this weekend, and I'm going to promote that. So really whatever you can do to promote, to let people know that, you know, what's happening behind the scenes, yeah.
You mentioned earlier that like the new studio was barren more or less. Do you know when that potentially happened? You say you were only there for like a year.
Yeah, I need to talk to Cassie. Okay, so I worked at the CW in 2012 is the first time I started working at the CW. And they were still talking about it as if it was like fairly new, that they had shut it down. News is expensive, and they decided that it was cheaper to just pay ABC 11, who already has the setup and is dedicated to it. They basically re-air like a rerun of their, you know, earlier thing. And so it's easier for us to pay them to do it than it is for them to do the whole thing. Miss Lyles actually, she worked there. She was in the news station. She was a director there. Ask her about it.
I'll tell you too, as far as we had John Hummel, who is Trish's general manager.
Who apologizes, by the way, for not making it in person.
But we have video of him talking about the rationale that they use ABC 11 for their newscasts, and it's a video on my YouTube channel, which you can
Yeah. Yeah.
So I took a tour of the CW in Raleigh.
Oh, fun.
And they had their like a little studio set up, like the platform and the fake background,
Yep.
chairs to conduct interviews and stuff.
Yeah, we use that still.
So it is. I just didn't know if like because of COVID it just took a hard hit.
It did in the beginning. We got very good at doing Zoom interviews.
Yeah.
What would happen when we were doing something like Community Matters, which is what we use that set for the most, our host, Bill, would come in and they would shoot him talking to a computer, and then they would also record the computer call, and so then they would edit it together. We got some more dynamic lighting and angles in that way, still stayed safe, because all of them could wear a mask and literally stay 15 feet away at the camera while Bill was sitting up there by himself and still get really great content. When I first started, I started in February of last year at the height of everything. I went to, how many times? I probably went to the studio maybe once in my first year, twice in my first year. That was for like onboarding and like some kind of orientation. The majority of our stuff was done distanced. I learned how to Zoom call. I learned how to do all the lighting in my own house. I learned a lot of tricks to editing Zoom, which is fun. And it made my editing even better because I learned how to nest pictures, I learned how to crop Zoom calls, I learned all kinds of stuff. That you have to turn on HD in Zoom before you start it if you want HD video, which I don't know why it automatically comes up SD, but you have to actually go into your settings and turn it HD if you want it great. And you know what's crazy is YouTube taught me a lot of that. It was a time of great innovation, I want to say. I think I'm a better interviewer because I've done it so many times without the person even being in front of me. I'm a better editor because I had to learn tips and techniques, and I had to learn how to get out there without being able to get out there, literally. I couldn't do events. We didn't do our normal Artsplosure event. We didn't do our normal Halloween event, which are huge for us. And so, yeah, we really had to be creative. Let's say that. We had to be really creative. But we're getting back out there. We're doing a lot of cool stuff. We're doing the fair again. We're going to get back out there for Halloween and do some good stuff. So I'm glad that I even got to come down here instead of doing something virtual. Because it's, talking to somebody about little intricate things, it's a lot easier just looking at you all than it is over a computer. Yeah.
Jobs and career wise, me being an older student and wanting to still have a career kind of late into this industry and market, is there potential?
Hi, I'm almost 40.
Yes.
Yes. The first job I had at the CW was directly out of school from here. I was a promotions producer. We tagged all of our commercials, we made commercials, and we did community events. It was a great entry-level position. Now I have gone on and gotten my bachelor's degree in English, and so I'm able to do more of a journalism standpoint from here, but it's still fairly entry-level what I'm doing. It's smaller, it's easier to mess up and not be catastrophic, and I have a boss who is willing to let me learn and teach. I have two bosses who are willing to let me learn and mess up and get better at it. So yes, you will find those. I know I talk about WREL a lot, but I kind of see them as people who go there don't leave there. And I think it's because they have such an ingrained culture and place in the community that it's all set up for you. They'll teach you what they do, and it's you don't have to build it because it's there. And you can really learn the ins and outs without worrying that your audience is going to be there or not going to be there. I interviewed at WREL actually, and I told them that, hey, I'm a teacher at Central Carolina, and it's really important to me, and I want to keep doing that. And they were like, cool, then you go do that. So they want people who are there and who are in there and in it. And if you show them that, then you most definitely can get into something like that. Most definitely. Yeah. They have part-time stuff, they have full-time stuff, they have ways to move about within, because they've got producers, they've got editors, they've got social media people, and they're full, so.
We also talked with the GM at WRAL and gave his email if you're looking for work. If you drop his name and drop the school name, you might get an extra connection.
Yeah, I asked if I could have interns. I asked if I could have interns, and since we're still hybrid, I can't do that right now. But it is my goal to, start filtering people out of here because I got the chance and I want to give you all the chance.
Yeah. I thought they just don't do internships at all.
At the CW?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to convince them otherwise.
Why?
My boss said it's a difficult process to get through corporate. They don't like it. They want special things. I'm not sure exactly, but she basically told me no, and I let it go because we're in the height of COVID, and we were in the height of COVID, and I wasn't going to be able to have it anyway. But once we're back to normal, I'm going to change that. I really want to take an intern. I want to show you guys what we do. I want to bring you guys out into the community and, make it so that you can walk up to somebody confidently and convince them to be on camera with you, because it's not an easy thing to do. And hands-on experience really is the best way to do it. That's why I love this school, because they have a radio station for you to play on, and they have a TV station for you to do it all. And when I was able to interview with the CW and say, oh yeah, I've done that. Yeah, I've done all that. Yeah, oh yeah, I can do that. I walked into my job and I was able to do everything. So yeah, I'm really excited that I graduated from here. So, and I'm really excited I got to teach here and like be with everybody. And it's a really good experience. So take everything you can, do everything you can, treat it as seriously as you can. Really, like when you're given an assignment to do like a commercial, make it as dynamic as you can. Make that radio show as dynamic as you can. Because even if people aren't going to hear it now, you're going to record it. You're going to show it to all those people who say, what can you do? And if it's, professional quality right off the bat, they're going to hire you. And so yeah, I was a bit of a go-getter here. I was a bit of a, I'm ready, let's do this. Come on, let's go. Yeah.
It's like when you were getting your first jobs, did you find that you were using like a lot of the stuff you did here as like your proof of what you did?
Fun fact, yes, we made a reel as a project for both TV and radio. I had it set when I was leaving here, okay? I got my first job at the CW22 using the reel that I made here. I got my job at QDR, the radio station, in, what year did I start there, 2019, I want to say? Using the reel that I made here. I mean, it was fairly poor quality because it had been transferred from computer to computer, and I accidentally deleted it once and I had to bring it back, and the quality wasn't great. But I used it, and they hired me as a DJ at QDR from something that I had graduated from 7 years earlier. Did I do radio? I did radio second, yeah. So my radio reel was in 2012, I made it, and in 2019, I was still able to use it to show them that, like, yes, I can do this. So I had worked here at the station in Sanford. I'm forgetting the call letters.
GP.
Thank you, WWGP. I was the swap shop host there, so I had some stuff to add to it, but I could tell them, yes, I had my own radio show here. Yes, I did my internship at that radio station, and I got hired, no problem, in both of them. So, yeah.
Is this your TikTok ad, man?
It is, yeah, it's a CW22.
Is the reel that you used on this TikTok to get hired?
It is not.
Oh, okay.
Because we were talking earlier, there's a fine balance I'm trying to do between making it the Trisha show and promoting the CW.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I am the talent, right? I suppose it would not be too indulgent for me to do something like the pizza thing as often as possible. But I just want everybody else to get their moment. I want everybody else to do things, and I think I just need to suck it up and start doing more. But yeah, so that's that. Any other questions for me? Yes.
I have one question.
Okay.
I seen on your LinkedIn you had like the Air Force on there.
Yeah.
Like, how were you like in the Air Force?
I joined the Air Force when I was 19. I'm one of 7 kids, and there was no hope of me going to college. And I know I grew up in Southern California, which seems weird that I wanted to get out of there as fast as possible, but I wanted to get out of there as fast as possible. When you grow up in a tourist area, you don't know that you're in a tourist area, and so it doesn't hold the same Southern California to me. So yeah, I wanted to travel, I wanted to get out, and the Air Force was the way to do that. I was a weather forecaster, which is why I can stand up in front of literally the president and talk, and I don't care. Because a 4-star general who's getting his golf game ruined by your weather forecast is the scariest thing in the world. And if I can do that, then I can do anything. So I don't mind talking to people. I don't mind being in front of people. And yeah, I would say out of everything that I've done, public speaking is what the Air Force did for me the most. Right. Absolutely. It's, I had to get up in front of stadiums full of people and tell the, hey, your training that you've been planning for weeks is not going to happen because it's going to snow. Sorry about that. So when you have to do that and you've got millions of dollars that you are dealing with, doing a TikTok is not the scariest thing in the world. So yeah. But yeah, it was cool. I lived in England, I lived in Arizona. I got to go to Kuwait. So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
So is traveling like a big part of it too?
Not a ton, but we have a segment called Road Trippin', where it's sponsored, and someone pays us to travel to their destination and do a 30-second commercial about it. So last year we did Wilmington, we did Wet and Wild in Greensboro, we did Busch Gardens, and since we're focusing on North Carolina, most of the time it's a day trip, so I'm there and back. But we went to Virginia, and we had to be there early, and so we drove up the day before and spent the night. But I would say the only thing that's coming up that might be a big deal is like we run You Bet Your Life with Jay Leno, who he does his show in LA, and he invited all of the social media people to go to LA and like do that. So that would probably be like 3 or 4 days, but I'd say maybe 10 travel days total out of the year. And it's like fun days because I get to play and, you know, do a commercial. And like most of the time, like we're fairly efficient. The production team and I are fairly efficient, so we get it done in a couple of hours. And then the promotions people are like, "You want to go on a ride?" We're like, "Yeah, I want to go on a ride. Let's do this." so you know you get to do a lot of fun stuff too. And you know, lunch is always paid for, so you get to go to fun restaurants and eat. And what I do is I have fun and I use it to my advantage. I post on social media like, "Awesome day on set today. You know, look for blah 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 to come out this day," stuff like that. Yeah, everything that you do can be made into a social media post. You know, I did, what was that day? I think it was at Busch Gardens. They sent me through the maze because it was the Halloween haunt thing that they do at Busch Gardens. And I wish I had remembered to bring the raw video because holy moly, that was a deal. So they sent me through, and there are some takes that you can't put in a 30-second video. So I took it and I put it on social media. You know, all 5 minutes of me walking through and screaming really loud and stuff like that. So yeah, anything like that you, especially when I have a time constraint. I'm doing a commercial that's 30 seconds, and we did an hour's worth of stuff, and there's some really cool stuff in there. Like the interview that I did with Marcy, she's like a luxury picnic person, and we had a picnic and we had a talk, and I put that talk on there. But after the official interview was over, we had some really cool like little snippets. So I cut those out of my video, and I'm gonna post that tomorrow as like a, hey, remember that interview that we did? Here's a cool behind the scenes like clip. And then guess who's gonna be, the link's gonna be right there. If you wanna see the whole video, go back. So I'm doing it more than once. I'm giving them little snippets. I'm giving them a little bit more, a little bit behind the scenes, a little bit extra to go back to my video. Somebody who maybe didn't catch it the first day might catch it this day. And even if it's 10, 20 people, it's worth it. So I'm always thinking about that. I'm thinking about how do I cross-promote? How do I extra promote? How do I do everything to get as many eyeballs on my stuff as possible? So.
Last call for questions or comments.
Yeah, I gotta go, I'm sorry.
If not, I have a question.
Okay, go.
So talking about analytics, do you
Mhm.
guys use any sort of like a Hootsuite or a similar sort of software?
I don't use Hootsuite.
No, okay.
I use
So
Google
how do you
Analytics,
keep track of your analytics and know, like how much time do you invest in monitoring and looking at that stuff?
Okay, so on the first, I have an Excel spreadsheet that I fill out with our website analytics, with our bounce rate, with how many users we got, and it compares it to the month before, up or down. I do Facebook followers and likes. I do Twitter likes and engagement, and Instagram likes and engagement. It all goes into an Excel sheet. And because social media is quite an enigma and it's difficult to notice just based on the numbers, I also show them the top and the least performing of the month. My boss is really big on don't hide the stuff that doesn't do well, because that's a teaching opportunity. He doesn't yell at me because something didn't do well. He says, what were we doing there? Do we have to keep doing it? And can we make it better? And so like, look at both. Don't just say, oh, this one's great and I just want to hug that because it did so good this month and 40,000 people saw it and I just love it, and we'll hide this story that only got 10 people to look at it. Don't hide it. Figure out why it didn't do as well as this one that was amazing. John. Yeah, John is the one who does that. He's amazing. He doesn't care about failure. He just wants to learn from it. And that's like the biggest thing that I've taken from all of this so far is, excuse me, that's my husband. Oh, cool. My cat puked on my living room. Score. That's something I can do.
There's the next video for it.
I wonder which one it was. I don't know. But anyway, so yes, we look at our analytics every month. We look at how well the stories did, we look at what we can do to increase them, and we compare. And then at the end of the year, we compare to the year before. So it's really the last 2 years is what we care about. I care about growth, however big or small, and I care about getting our bounce rate down on my website. So those are my two like big things that I want. I want somebody to go to my website, I want someone to stay on my website, I want someone to click around and give me some 3-second views. Mama wants some 3-second views, come on. That's all I want. So, yeah, that's my day in a nutshell.
Alright, folks, can we say thank you?
Thank you.
It was really good to see you all. Thank you for letting me talk about myself for an hour. I appreciate it.